The A's are on base, but we have a ways to go before the town welcomes what would be the Las Vegas Athletics.
That's right. And tonight, in part 2 of our series Stealing Vegas, reporter Bryan Horwath explains the long-awaited deal that got us to where we are now.
Clearing hurdle after hurdle to bring the A's to Las Vegas, Nevada lawmakers have finalized a deal to allow for the team to build a brand new ballpark on the bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip.
Las Vegas has proven itself as a professional sports town.
It may be a done deal with Nevada lawmakers, but the Oakland A's move to Las Vegas is far from complete.
We have a timeline of this year to get it sorted out.
Striking a deal in Southern Nevada has not been simple, to say the least. Clark County Commissioner Michael Naft says locals have to be thought about in the process of the team planning to relocate.
This has to be done in a way that actually benefits the people that live here, that they see some profit out of it.
The A's have had their sights on Las Vegas for quite some time. Just this year, several properties have been eyed. In February, the A's confirmed they were looking at the Rio Hotel property as a possible stadium site. By April, A's officials walked away from negotiations with Oakland officials after announcing the franchise would relocate to Las Vegas.
We finalized a purchase and sale agreement for the Wild West site.
A month later, plans changed, and the team reached a deal to build on the site of the Tropicana Hotel. The proposed 30,000-seat ballpark is set to be one of the smallest in professional baseball. UNLV professor Nancy Lowe says a smaller ballpark could be a positive.
I think it's actually a good move to build a smaller stadium.
But Scott Hammond, a local lawmaker, says the Tropicana site is ideal for a number of reasons.
There's a lot of hotels around that area. There's a lot of parking around in that area. It's great mobility in terms of walking traffic.
Then in June, a majority of Nevada lawmakers in a special legislative session signed Senate Bill 1 into law, earmarking millions in public funds to help construct the stadium. Nevada Assemblyman Steve Yeager was one of those who supported the ballpark legislation.
I have been watching and excited as I was when we passed the bill about the prospect of getting a team here in the next few years.
With the passage of the bill, CEO and president of the LVCVA, Steve Hill, explains where that money is coming from.
That $380 million of funding comes from bonds that the county will issue that are funded and repaid through taxes that are generated in what we are calling the Sports and Entertainment Innovation District, which will be a line drawn around the stadium land there on the Tropicana site. The taxes that are generated within that district will be used to repay the bonds.
However, as part of SB 1, the A's are required to fund the first $100 million on the project before they are allowed to use public money. In July, the team started its relocation application with Major League Baseball. Now it has been submitted and will be reviewed by the league's relocation committee, made up of executives from 3 Major League Baseball teams. Jeremy Aguero, a local analyst contracting for the A's on their relocation effort, says the A's are going all in for Las Vegas.
We'll continue to facilitate all of the other steps that need to be taken in order for that relocation to go from concept to reality.
I spoke with Sue Kim, chairman of the Bally's Corporation and owners of the Tropicana Hotel. He says there's plenty of time to plan for the proposed baseball stadium and development of the 25-acre parcel next to the ballpark site, which he says could include a sports-themed attraction.
See, things can still morph around. We have a working theme. We want to build around that, create memorabilia museum.
The A's have hired Mortensen and McCarthy as the construction manager for the stadium build. They would oversee all construction activities. Mary Beth Seawald, president and CEO of the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce, believes a project of this magnitude would create thousands of jobs in Southern Nevada and be a walk-off win.
For Vegas to maintain its position as the premier global destination for entertainment, we have to continue to invest in world-class infrastructure projects that will make sure that we're staying ahead of our competitors.
One thing most people agree is a sure bet: Las Vegas will hit the Grand Slam.
One thing about Vegas, they don't do anything cheap.
Vegas is going to do it right.
Now, here's what we know about the team's situation and when we could see a first pitch on the Strip, if relocation is approved. The A's will finish out this season and play next season in the Oakland Coliseum. After that, decisions would have to be made on the team's future and if they could extend their lease in Oakland. Or, the A's president says, their temporary home could be the Las Vegas ballpark.
We have an arrangement with the Aviators to stay if and when the A's relocate to Southern Nevada.
Two teams sharing Las Vegas ballpark could have its challenges, and that would also need to be approved by Major League Baseball. President and CEO of the Las Vegas Aviators, Don Logan, says some retrofitting would also need to take place.
We've got to do a couple things with the park to make it more Major League ready. These light standards need to be 10 to 20 feet higher. Playing 150 games on grass field here would be tough. We'd have to convert to artificial. Probably have to add a locker room somewhere. That's easier said than done.
Despite the efforts to move the team to Las Vegas, one local political action committee, Schools Over Stadiums, has filed a formal petition to repeal SB 1.
$380 million to a billionaire is not the priorities that are needed for our children and for education.
The group says they're committed to pursuing every possible path to have funds dedicated to services they say Nevadans depend on. MLB officials have said they want to vote on relocation before the end of the year. Baseball owners are slated to gather in Nashville, Tennessee for the 2023 winter meetings in December. Reporting from the studio, I'm Bryan Horwath.